you have any green flags or red flags, Brian?
It's so crazy to me that they listen to Joe Rogan is even a question.
Well, I think because listening to Joe Rogan has become sort of a cultural identifier at this point.
Oh,
You know?
wow.
Because it's similar to refuse.
Like,
to
okay,
see the
you
Barbie
listen to
movie.
Joe Rogan, but do you hear Joe Rogan? Because some people, because I think most of Rogan's listeners listen when he's talking to someone that they are interested in.
That's probably true.
And that can vary wildly from like a fighter to a scientist to a political person.
Yeah.
The political people are the worst episodes.
Trying to be doing that bullshit.
Yeah, I wish he would stop talking to politicians, man. They can suck.
We're back.
We're back.
Hopefully with video this time, which I think we will have.
Which we probably, shit happens. All right, episode what, 80?
81, sir.
81. Right. We hitting milestones out this bitch.
I'm going to create a little AI generated Brian Simpson so we never have to record video ever again.
Oh yeah. By the way, the strike ended today for the writers. Did you know that?
I did know that, yeah.
So it looks like Drew Barrymore. Was it Drew Barrymore that crossed the picket line?
It was Drew Barrymore. I think Jimmy Fallon crossed the picket line. And Drew Barrymore and Bill Maher.
Yeah, all these. Big Bill Maher started to, and then he thought better of it. So of the three, he's the best one.
Yeah.
So, we're back. I don't know if it's any. I haven't really been paying attention to the news this week. I've been busy as fuck. I did buy a car that immediately had to go into the shop. So a brand new car. So that's what I'm dealing with right now. Just just my luck. I wanted to get to some of these emails right away because sometimes we do them last.
Sure.
And I don't want to forget any of these. Well, there's 3 I think I see. Let's start with Darren. Okay. Hey, Brian, first heard you on Rogan and enjoyed your sense of humor. Check your podcast out because you seemed not only funny but intelligent. I am both of those things. As I listened to episode 79 and your thoughts on the nature of corporations, it made me want to jump out of my office window. What are your thoughts on pursuing a life path outside of the norm? Sounds like your path has been difficult, being a homeless vet and working your way to success. Should I keep the corporate grind going or try something new? Let me know. What do you think, Darren? Well, Darren, I think that's a very personal decision. I mean, there's no wrong answer. I mean, I feel like it depends on what's going to give you the most peace of mind. For me, when I had a safe corporate job, it was fucking killing me. I was making good money. I was pretty good at my job, I guess. But it felt so empty to be. It was really fucking with my head. And I knew that I couldn't sustain it long term, So that's when I started trying to pursue other things. I tried to go back to school, so it wasn't. It's not really there's no right or wrong answer. You just got to decide what's best for you. If your life never changed from what it is now, could you deal with that? Do you got a wife and kids that depend on you? So that's the other thing too. It's like, it's easy to talk that dream shit when all you got to take care of is yourself. But once you throw a baby in the mix, you throw a wifey in the mix, that now your decision's affecting other people. So that's a whole other thing. And some comics do it. I have no fucking idea how. The only comic I know that did it successfully from scratch, already having a family, is Dustin Dickerson. You might not know his name. He's very, very funny. I started with him in San Diego. He tours all around. He opens for Taylor Tomlinson. But that's the homie. And I don't know how. He did it because his wife 10 toes down. You know what I mean? His wife is all in about it. Like that's the other thing. Like I feel like if you have a spouse that's resistant to it, and some of them understandably would be, it's like if you ain't, and I don't think he just hopped right into comedy. He had a job for a long time until, maybe 4 years ago, 5 years ago. So he was doing a job and doing comedy, but his wife supported all of it. You know what I'm saying? Whether that be selling merch, editing the podcast, I don't know what all she contributes, but I know she contributes to it all. So actually that's not true too. I knew another guy actually, but he didn't succeed. So yeah, that's it's tough to do it with a family. And maybe when you say dreams, you're not talking about comedy. But whatever your dreams, I mean, you gotta weigh the pros and cons. There's no easy answers, And what matters is whether you're able to live with the consequence of your choice. And that takes a lot of self-reflection and self-honesty that I don't think a lot of people really possess. That's a muscle you have to work, being logical and being reasonable and that sort of thing. So let me know what you decide. Yeah, I'd love to know. All right, next one.
Do you have any advice on how he can, like, is there a process that he can undertake to figure out what the pros and cons are? Or is it just you just got to look inside yourself?
I don't know, man. Psilocybin.
Facts.
If you can get a hold of some mushroom, because I feel like the thing about shrooms is they keep you from lying to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, while the shrooms are active, you kind of have to be honest in your brain. Like the little lies you tell yourself every day, you can no longer do that.
Right.
So, maybe a little psilocybin. But no, I don't have any exercises or anything. I don't have a pamphlet or a booklet. Do you, Rob? Do you have anything you can recommend?
I think you should write it down, honestly. Like, it's real easy to get up in your head and have a bunch of different pros and cons kind of floating around. But if you actually write down what your plans are, what your goals are, a year from now, 5 years from now, etc., because that's all going to be specific to him. Like you said, if he's married, if he has a kid, if he wants a kid, if he wants to own a house, like, there's certain compromises you might have to make for stability if that's important to you. For some people, that's not important to them. And for those people, they should definitely quit the rat race and pursue their dreams. But some people are willing to take that hit and work a 9-to-5 that they might not be particularly excited about, to have health insurance and pay for a mortgage and pay for their kids' daycare and all that stuff. But I would say just write it down. Otherwise, you just have it kind of floating in your head, you know?
Because you could also be like, you know what? I don't love my family that much, and abandon them.
Facts.
You know what I mean? Catch me on the back end with that child support.
Which I can't pay because I'm a comedian.
Right. It's a win-win or like a win-draw. I don't know.
Good luck getting blood from a stone, baby.
Next one is from Z Money. Z Money. Hello, you spelled my name wrong, first of all, Z Money. It's Brian, not Brain. And this happens to every Brian. Every Brian whose name is spelled properly with the IA end. We get brain. We get brain quite often. I'm going to say maybe 10% of the time it's brain. I've had transactions denied because of this. I've had benefits had to be reapplied for because somebody wrote brain. I've even had family members write brain, and it's I notice it every single time. There's Z Money. Anyway, hello, Brandon Rob. I'm 23 years old, and I've been listening to this podcast for a year now after finding you on Joe Rogan about 2 years ago. Joe Rogan is like Dr. Dre, and you are like 50 Cent. Tim Dillon is like Eminem. I love the show, and I look forward to it every weekend. I would like to get your advice, seeing as I'm coming up to a crossroad in my life soon. Well, first of all, Eminem brought 50 Cent in the game. So your analogy is very, very very loose at the top, but I do see what you're trying to do there, and I appreciate it. I'm an E4 in the Army. My job is so cushy, it feels like I'm in the Air Force. Woo! Of course, that's nice and all, but I'd actually want to be something more respected and way higher paying. I've been pursuing an associate's degree in pre-nursing to reach the aberration.
That's not what that word means.
Yeah, or reach that aberration, it says. Yeah, okay. Yeah, but I see what Z Money is going here. Yeah, I'm not sure if aberration is being used properly here either. But I also don't know exactly what the proper use would be. I mean, I know how to use it for me in the situations that I would use it. But, I haven't looked at the dictionary to be like, oh, you can use it right here too. Maybe. Yeah. Who knows? Yeah. Seeing as the closest thing I am right now, job-wise, is a nurse. Okay, wait a minute. So you get an associate's degree. I mean, is it an English class involved in this? Because it's a lot of spelling errors I'm seeing here, a lot of grammatical things. But that's neither here nor there. You're a nurse job-wise. Okay. And that feels like you in the Air Force? I feel like you leaving something out. Maybe you're one of those nurses that don't do shit. You like a hospice nurse in the Army?
What is E4? Hospice? What is E4? It's just a pay grade?
Yeah, E4 is a pay grade.
Okay.
It's I guess in the Marine Corps, he would be an NCO. That's the lowest level of NCO, non-commissioned officer. But E4 basically E4s in every branch get paid the same.
Okay.
The same base pay. So yeah, okay. It's not that high. It's not that low. It's right there. It's the first rank where you start to have a little bit of power.
Okay.
Depending on unless you're like a grunt or something where like sometimes like Lance Corporals have some power, E3s have a little power. But anyway, but in the Army, E4 is not bad. So the Army has a program whereupon you're killing me, Z Money. Whereupon you wrote. Okay, but I'm gonna read it how you intended. The Army has a program whereupon completion of an associate's degree in pre-nursing we got to get some comments in here, bruh. We got to get some comments, some semicolons. Good Lord Jesus. Okay, hold on. Here we go. The Army has a program whereupon completion of an associate's degree in pre-nursing, I could apply for nursing schools around my area to go to university for 2 years while in the Army. Currently, I am 12 classes away from an associate's degree, and I can probably complete 8 to 9 classes this year. To follow through with this program, I was thinking of re-enlisting for 1 year to stay in my current area to complete my class and then apply for the nursing program. If everything goes smoothly, I will commission as a nurse in the Army in 3 to 4 years. Oh, so you'll be an officer, I'm guessing you're saying. An officer nurse? Okay, because commission, I don't know what he means, but what I'm thinking he means is, in this context, commission means become an officer. So, I don't know if maybe that's how the Army does things, what have you. Okay. But so if everything goes smoothly, I will commission as a nurse in the Army in 3 to 4 years. The thing that has me extremely indecisive is I just spent the last 6 months in Tokyo for an Army deployment, in parentheses, in quotation marks. See, I was sitting there talking all that shit. I love my life over there. I hate driving, and the prevalent use of public transportation made my heart do a backflip. All the women are beautiful, and I even had a little girlfriend over there. Sleeping with a Japanese girl after realizing the backdrop of World War II really made me count my blessings. But I'm telling you, I pulled more hoes in the first 3 months in Japan than I did here in the U.S. in the last 2 years. Reading books, listening to podcasts like yours on the train was a simple joy that I loved. The lack of crime and the political unrest was really a relief. Even my work life was a tad bit better. Pursuing nursing school in Tokyo is not a real viable option. I extremely doubt I'll be able to apply for schools in America while I'm not even in the country. The Army may say, boy, we're not letting you do this program. You're 2,500 miles away. These are the options I see it. Please point out a missing option. A, get out of the Army in a year, pursue my education without the Army, not including GI Bill. Why are you not including the GI Bill? Oh, you saying, okay, I get it. Pursue your options without the Army, but you will use the GI Bill. Okay. B, re-enlist, extend for 1 more year, and go to nursing school and commission as an officer in the Army. C, re-enlist and go to Tokyo for the next 3 years. It's a challenging choice because I only want to go to school to make more money. But what is the whole point of making money? To do things you like, right? I could just kind of skip that step and go to Tokyo, something I like. But I know if I'm choosing that, I'm putting my career development on hold for fun. Let me know your thoughts. Love, Z Money. Well, listen, I think you just answered your question. You know, it's kind of very along the lines of what I said to the last guy. There is no wrong choice, right? But what's going to give you the most peace of mind? What decision? Because here's the other thing. You can go to Tokyo and then get out and then go be a nurse. You can, I mean, Tokyo sounds like you had peace. It sounds like you had love, possibly. It sounds like you really enjoy living over there. Who's to say what opportunities will present themselves while you're over there in Tokyo? And you know, and what is the point of you making more money? Okay, so you're gonna re-enlist in the Army, commission as a nurse, and then then you're gonna be making more money, and then what? You're gonna be making more money and be miserable? You're gonna be making more money and still feel unfulfilled? Is it possible for you to commission as a nurse and then go to Tokyo? Also, how the fuck do you know you're going to Tokyo if you re-enlist? Is that like you get first dibs? Because I know they let you pick where you want to go, but they always got that. At least when I was in, it was the needs of the Marine Corps, you know. So it basically means we'll try to get you what you want, but you might not get it, and ain't shit you can do about it. But yeah, if it's, you know, again, I don't want to tell you what decision to make, but if these were my choices, I'm going to Tokyo. You know, you got peace, you got woman, and you don't need money. You're deployed. And but again, that's your experience. I don't know what it was really like, what it's really worth to you. But let me know what you decide, Z Money. But if you're asking me to vote, I'm going C. I'm going C out here.
Yeah, man. You know? If you can re-enlist and get paid to be in Tokyo, and just keep doing all the shit that you were doing when you were fucking killing it in there, then why not go for that?
Yeah, but also it says here that if he can re-enlist and extend for 1 more year and go to nursing school, commissioned as an officer. So that's 1 more year. If you can extend for 1 more year and go to nursing school, maybe, yeah. And then you can go to why you can't go to Tokyo after that?
I mean, maybe that's what he's saying is an option. If that's an option, that sounds great.
Yeah, if you
can 1 year is not that much time.
Yeah, 1 year ain't shit. But he said he can get out of the Army in a year and pursue his education without the Army. Yeah, man. Maybe learn a little Japanese, man. Get over there where you was feeling yourself, you know.
Also, I'm gonna guess this guy is what, early 20s. How long does it take to become E4? Mid 20s, mid 20s.
He's 23.
23, you said. Okay, yeah, man. When you're 23, a year is a lot longer than what it seems a lot longer than what it really is. I'm telling you, as a 38-year-old, a year ain't shit.
No, yeah, no. I was reading some about this a couple years ago about how, since time is relative, right? The reason years seem longer when you're younger and shorter when you're older is because of relativity. Like when you're 5, a year, your only reference is your previous 5 years. So a year is 20% of your life. So it feels like that, but when you're 50, a year is 1/50th of your life. So it seems like it's flying by because you have all the other years to compare it to.
Yeah, I remember when I was a kid and my parents would, talk about, oh, when we lived in Long Beach or whatever. And they'd be like, wait, when did we live in Long Beach? And they'd have to like narrow down the time span. And that
Oh,
blew
yeah.
my mind as a kid, because when you're a kid, like if you're 10 years old, you really only remember the last 4 years, right? So,
Right.
so narrowing it down is pretty easy because you're just like, oh yeah, that was 2 years ago. But when you're an adult, it gets a little bit tougher.
Let us know what you decide, Z Money, and whether you invest in that spell check. If you're not in the blazing heat of Austin, it's starting to get chilly outside. If you've ever wished you could have a little jacket for your dick, you're in luck. Sheath Underwear has 2 pouches, one for your dick and one for your balls. It keeps things separated so you can get on with your life without having anything mashed together down there. I personally use Sheath. All my underwear have been changed to Sheath. I still keep on the campaign to get them to make the dick pocket bigger, but that's just me. We need we're the ones for the girthy boys. No, seriously though, Sheath underwear is so comfortable and breathable, and you're never gonna want to wear anything else. Try them one time. If you don't have a dick, Sheath still has something for you. Check out their sports bralettes, boxer briefs, and boy shorts for the ultimate in comfort and style. Go to sheathunderwear.com and use BS to get 20% off your first order. Plus, Sheath Underwear's 100% money back guarantee. That's sheathunderwear.com, promo code BS. Get Sheath Underwear, support the show, support your balls. You already know and love DoorDash for delivery, your favorite hangover meal straight to your door. Now, they're offering grocery delivery too. So you pretty much never have to leave your home again with DoorDash grocery delivery. You can get exactly what you want delivered right to your door. Yes, DoorDash has saved me plenty of time by not having to leave my house. The game's on, I forgot food, I get to order wings, those sorts of things. You know it, you love it, it comes in perfectly handy. You trusted DoorDash to bring you nachos when you were drunk at 2 a.m., and now they're here to help you stock the pantry. Like a true friend, they've seen you through good times and bad. So sit back, relax, and let DoorDash bring you that head of lettuce you need for dinner. Get 50% off your first DoorDash order up to $20 value when you use BS at checkout. Limited time offer, terms apply. That 50% off up to $20, no minimum subtotal, and 0 delivery fees on your first order when you download the DoorDash app in the App Store and enter code BS. Don't forget, that's code BS for 50% off your first order with DoorDash. Okay. Darren. By the way, guys, if you write into the show, I'm going to try my best. I'm going to read your name as the name you sign off the email with. So, if you don't want your real name or you want a fake name or you have some kind of pseudonym, I'm going to read whatever's at the end. So, if you're trying to need to hide your identity or whatever. And also, please change the names of people involved, so you don't get sued or whatever, if it's some kind of juicy, spicy story.
So we don't have a Hasan Minhaj situation in our hands.
Right. And try your best to include whatever episode you're referencing. And if there's a timestamp, you deserve blowjobs. Okay. Matt, the New York Times. Oh, this is about the Hasan. Okay. The New York Times was doing an article on him being Hasan Minhaj. They fact-checked his story. The girl from prom is married to another Indian. She got mad threats and hate because of his BS. Listen to the anthrax on his kid's story and tell me it's fine. The news is he's lying blatantly for clout. Yes, it's a BS story in regards to Ukraine. I don't know what that means. I really think you guys missed the mark on where this came from, so it jades your ideas on it. Anyways, love the show. Keep it up. Listen, you know what? That's why that episode was called Ultra Crepidarian. We speak... I always speak very in depth on things that I have no expertise on, but also listen. I get where it's coming from. Like I just don't. How do I put it? Because look, I understand. I heard who put it the best. Giannis Pappas, I think, had the best take on it, and he said, yeah, comedians make things up, but you can't say that it's true. That's the other thing. And here's the other thing: you can make things up for a laugh. People don't have any problem with you making things up to make them laugh, but if you solicit any other emotion with the lie, people don't like that shit. Laughter is the only emotion that you're allowed to solicit with a lie. People are fine with that. That's what pranks are. That's what jokes are. But if you solicit any other emotion, people have a fucking problem with that. And again, I haven't talked to Hasan since then. But I mean, at the same time, it's like, because I hear, I've watched the reaction to a lot of this online, and it's like, this girl got mad threats. And I'm like, look, man, I don't need that. Because everyone always says they get death threats. You ever notice how none of those people ever die? Because that's just a way to like bolster your shit. I got death threats. Okay, fine. What does that mean? Somebody says something in your DMs? Yeah, I don't know. I feel like death threats are the least. That's the least indicator of whether you about to die. That's the least powerful. But it is something that you can, because it's something you can say is happening without having to prove that it's happening.
Well, I mean, I think a lot of times people can prove that it's happening. I take your point that
they almost never do.
They never follow through on it, but it's not that they never follow through on it. And then also, I think that, just nobody should be sending death threats to somebody, because that is scary, even if there's a infinitesimal chance that they're going to carry through on it. Like, that ruins think about how much it ruins your fucking day if you just get like a shitty response to a Reddit post, right?
Yeah, but my point is, somebody that really intends on killing you, 99 times out of 100, they're not going to tell you first.
Yeah.
The death threats are usually coming from people that just want to say some shit. If they're even real in the first place. Like every time a politician gets in trouble, it's like this. To me, death threats are it's right up there with, I'm taking some time off to be with my family. It's like, I don't know if that's true. That's what you're supposed to say to make the story sound good, but I don't have any proof that this is happening. So that doesn't change how I feel about any of this. But again, it is fucked up, to like lie on a real person that's actually alive. That, it is fucked up.
Regardless of whether she got death threats, it's
right.
It's fucked up to put somebody's name out there and basically portray their family as racist.
It's a weird choice to use her real name in a lie too. Like I don't know, because I didn't see I didn't see Prom King, which is what this is. Where this story was told. But it's also wild. Yeah, that's a wild choice.
To be fair, I did read something. I don't know if this is true, but I did read that he did not use her real name in the actual taped special. So he had used it in like the show, So like it was publicly available and known and everything,
yeah.
But it wasn't like in the final edit. I could be wrong.
Netflix probably put a kibosh on that shit.
Okay, yeah, then maybe that's what happened.
Because they tried to come, they told me like, hey, is your grandmother alive? I'm like, you think she would be okay? I was like, no, she's an asshole. She's not gonna be okay with it. So it's it's that kind of thing. But I still did it. I really think you guys missed the mark. But yeah, we do. We miss it sometimes. But yeah, the anthrax on the kid story, that's wild. That's wild. And that's the thing is like, Hasan's the homie. Like, we ain't super tight, like we talk every day type of shit. But and obviously I think we're not close enough that I feel like I could call him right now and be like, yo, what's up? What's this about? But this is real wild, surprising to me. Yeah, the anthrax on the kid thing, that's a toughie. That's a toughie. It's a tough one to deal with. What I'm interested to see is how this is going to affect him moving forward. Yeah, because his whole thing was kind of like this one man show-ish kind of storytelling-ish thing, you know? It wasn't really like pure stand-up. You know, so I don't know if you like how can you keep doing that? Like how can you go forward with that with the storytelling narrative when they've already fucked with your reputation is shot. Even though I think probably most people don't care, to be honest with you. It's a very specific demographic that's upset about this. Yeah, and I don't know. I don't know what his fan base is. I think his fan base is mostly brown people
and
I don't
white
think
liberals.
I don't think they care really, to be honest with you. But who knows? I mean, because I don't know how much this damages his I don't know how much this damages the extent to which people want to listen to him. You know?
Ultimately, that's what it all comes down to.
Right, because at the end of the day, he is one of the best at that sort of, I don't know, that Daily Show, Jon Stewart kind of exposation. I mean, he kind of, I don't know if he invented it, but his show on Netflix was pretty good in terms of like exposing news stories and shit like that. And like, I don't know what to call it, educational, comedic news, whatever the fuck that is.
It's like comedic political commentary.
Right. And I think he's one of the best at that, comedic political commentary, and he wasn't lying in none of that. So is this gonna affect his ability to do that? I mean, the show got canceled, so I guess but not because of this. The show was canceled before. But who the fuck knows why Netflix cancels stuff? They'll cancel a hit out of the blue sometimes. So who knows? But I hope he's all right. I don't know. The anthrax on the baby story is wild. The girl getting death threats, I don't know how to feel about that. But yeah, using the girl's real name is kind of wild.
I think the fact that it's like more like a one-man show type thing, I think he has plenty of room to say, listen, you know what, I fucked up. Like, comedians make shit up all the time for effect. That's what I was doing. But to be honest, I crossed the line, so I'm not going to do that again. And I think it pretty much just goes away.
But did he do that? I haven't heard him respond to any of this.
I haven't heard him respond after the fact to the article. I think he was probably, I would imagine that his representation was telling him, like, let's just wait and see. Then the Russell Brand thing comes out. It's like, okay, maybe the attention's off of us for a little bit. We don't need to really address it. Once it starts passing through, because it's pretty much passed out of the news cycle at this point. I mean, I don't think mainstream news is really talking about it that much.
But the mainstream news ain't what really matter. It's like, bro, because it could be one. It depends. What matters is how comedy fans, whether they let it go, which they won't. You know what I'm saying? You could ask Mr. Steve Renazizi about that. They won't let this nigga slide for nothing. Like they act like he killed somebody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so, if he gets that treatment, then it's never gonna go away. And he gonna have to be able to like live with that. Like adjust to that.
I think for the kinds of comedy fans that do that, though, that sort of slime your name forever after, I don't think they super care about this Hasan Minhaj situation. So I think he might, because with the Steve Rannazzisi, it was like, it's 9/11. You know, that has a special place in people's minds, you know?
Yeah. And that's the thing, right? We've allowed people to tell jokes about 9/11.
Mm-hmm.
You can joke about 9/11 all day. But can you say you was there?
No.
That's wild. That's a wild thing to say.
You could do a bit about being in the towers during 9/11 as long as you didn't actually try to trick people into thinking you were there. If you're doing it for comedic effect, I think people wouldn't really care.
But even then, see, I think
as long as it's funny, it's got to be funny. If it's just not a funny bit, then it doesn't work.
Right. I mean, because it's a little more nuanced than that, right? Like, you could have a bit about you being there when you weren't actually there, as long as it was apparent by the punchline that you weren't actually there, right?
Right.
Or if you were actually there, you could exaggerate or embellish about things that happened there in a bit. You know what I mean? It's so I think the foundation of shit, it's a tricky thing, but you know, it's like, you know, because you could start a bit with, like, I was on the moon the other day. Now, it's obvious to everyone that you weren't on the moon, right? So it's permissible, you know. Or sometimes, you know, you could have a joke. I was in the Twin Towers, and then you, or even let's just make it more about it was like, you could go, oh yeah, it was anthrax on my baby, and whoop, and it's a joke.
Right.
And it's clear to most people, because I ain't gonna say everybody, because some people are just fucking dense. But it's clear to most people that there wasn't any actual anthrax on the baby. I mean, I probably killed several babies in my act.
Right.
You know, in fact, you know, my bio used to just say I've only ever dropped one baby, and that's true. You know, but even if it weren't true, you know, that's one of the things, you know, I don't know. So there is a gray area there, and there's a way to do it there, but the way he did it is not the way. That's I don't think that. I mean, obviously it isn't, but I also don't think people are as upset about it as, because I'll tell you what, I think most people are just kind of disappointed or confused about it. And I think the certain demographic of white people that hate when racism is called out in any situation, even when it's true, especially hate this because it wasn't true. You know what I'm saying? It's like, so that's the other thing. It's like, that's a real button for them. Untrue racism. How dare you?
Right.
You know, so that and whatever, I get it. You know, so it's a. I think those are the only people that are like real upset about it. I don't even think the girl is really as upset as white dudes are. No, you can't call somebody racist when they wasn't racist. Yeah, you're right. You shouldn't do that. But most of the time it'd be accurate. So let's see.
Well, the R. I always say, Brian, the R word is the N word for white people.
It really is. That's how they feel. Calling me racist is racist. Okay. Whoa, I like to click on our little doom. Y'all don't see our articles here, but we have a little category called doom and gloom. The dreaded rat lungworm, a parasite with a penchant for rats and slugs that occasionally finds itself rambling and writhing in human brains, has firmly established itself in the southeast United States and will likely continue its rapid invasion, a study published this week suggests. The study involves small-scale surveillance of dead rats in the Atlanta Zoo. Between 2019 and 2022, researchers continually turned up evidence of the worm. In all, the study identified 7 out of 33 collected rats, 21%, with evidence of a rat lungworm infection. The infected animals were spread throughout the study's time frame, all in different months, with 1 in 2019, 3 in 2021, and 3 in 2022, indicating sustained transmission. Although small, the study suggests that the zoonotic parasite was introduced to and has become established. Wait a minute, I think zoonotic means it can travel between animals and humans.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
I believe that's
Established in a new area of the southeastern United States. The study's authors, led by researchers at the University of Georgia, called College of Veterinary Medicine, concluded the study was published Wednesday in the Journal of Emerging Infectious Disease. Normally, adult worms live in the arteries around a rat's lungs, hence rat lungworm. There, they mate and lay eggs. The worm's larvae then burst out of the lungs, get coughed up by the rat, and are swallowed and eventually pooped out. From there, the larvae are picked up by slugs or snails. This can happen if the gastropod eat the rat poop, or if the ravenous larvae just bore into their soft bodies. The larvae then develop in the slugs and snails, which ideally are eventually eaten by rats. Back in a rat, the late-stage larvae penetrate the intestine, enter the bloodstream, and migrate to the rat's central nervous system and brain. Okay, but how do they get into humans? Humans become accidental hosts in various ways. They may eat undercooked snails or inadvertently eat an infected slug or snail hiding in their unwashed salad. Infected snails and slugs can also be eaten by other animals first, like frogs, prawns, shrimp, or freshwater crabs. If humans then eat those animals before fully cooking them, they can become infected. When a rat lungworm finds itself in a human, it does what it usually does in rats. It heads to the central nervous system and brain. Sometimes the migration of the worms to the central nervous system is asymptomatic or only causes mild, transient symptoms, but sometimes they cause severe neurological dysfunction. This can start with nonspecific symptoms like headache, light sensitivity, and insomnia. Man, stop saying that. That's depression. And develop in the neck stiffness and pain, tingling or burning of the skin, double vision, bowel or bladder difficulties, and seizures. In severe cases, it can cause nerve damage, paralysis, coma, and even death. It's often thought that the worm can't complete its life cycle in humans and that it ends up idly wandering around the brain for a month or two before it's eventually killed off by immune responses. However, there has been some evidence of adult worms reaching the human lungs. Regardless, there's no specific treatment for rat lungworm infection. No antiparasitic drugs have proven effective, and in fact, there's some evidence they can make symptoms worse by spurring more immune responses to dying worms. For now, supportive treatment, pain medications, and steroids are typically the only options.
Ugh.
Okay, well,
nature's a motherfucker.
Yeah, I mean, just don't eat seafood or escargot in Atlanta. That's easy. That's easy to do. You know, who the fuck is going to Atlanta for the seafood? Unless I'm missing something. I don't know nothing about it. Honestly.
Atlanta's got great seafood.
Not according to this article we just read. Okay. So let's try to. Oh, wait a minute. Did we listen to this voicemail?
Yeah. Which one you want to do?
No, we'll do that. We'll do that tomorrow. Wait a minute. Let's do apologies to Umar.
Sure, I'll play it.
Yeah, what's going on, y'all? This is Jafari, live in Phoenix. I'm from Milwaukee. I just want to issue like a retraction on that Dr. Umar statement because he had that school done for a little while. In fact, when he finished that school, he had to do interviews. You know, he went right back on the Breakfast Club. Be like, oh, you know, we were trying to do it within the community. He had issues with contractors, stuff like that. Not that like the point you're making is wrong or anything like that. I just wanted to add that because that's a narrative that's been going on around for a little while. I feel like he caught a lot of heat from it, and not a lot of people said anything when he finally built it. Yeah, man, love the show. Keep doing what you're doing. Stay blessed.
Okay, so I thought what you just said, I thought that too. Okay. But looking further into it, okay, the school is not built. He bought a property, and from what I can see, it's still not open and it's still not complete. And then all the pictures posted of it are doctored. There's no students. All the pictures that are posted of it are photoshopped, right? So the same building that they're taking pictures of, people drive by the building and don't look like those pictures. So maybe you can educate me, send me a link or something like that. Let me see. I'm pulling up an article here. This is as of June 26th. Let me see. The blame game. Let me see if I can find just school in this thing so I don't got to read the whole fucking thing. Dr. Umar's school and even promising to help us with his community. Their daughter. What is this? This looks just like a hater. We don't know. We don't.
So is there any evidence that there's actually been any construction, or is it just photos
no,
of the exterior of the school school
right.
site?
Well, he bought a building.
Okay.
And there's pictures of the building on his social media. But there's no one going to the school, and people that have gone by the school say that it doesn't look like it does on social media. It looks like it always has. You know, it was an abandoned building. I mean, listen, I want this to work. I want this to be a thing. I'm not a Dr. Umar hater necessarily. I mean, I think it's crazy, the people that think that black liberation is like going back to the 70s or whatever. I think that's kind of wild.
Are you a fan in general of, or a supporter in general of Pan-Africanism? Dr. Umar is a Pan-African, right?
Yeah, I think he calls himself the Prince of Pan-Africanism. But it always ends with give me some money. So here's an update. Well, that's from 2021. So I would love to ask. Let me just see. Let me just Google it.
I mean, I'm Googling it, and I can't find any evidence that the school has actually been built. All I can find is that he apparently leased or bought a site, and he has pictures of the site, but they are renderings.
Right, exactly.
And there hasn't actually, as far as I can tell, been any students at the school, or that the school is even fit for purpose at this point to have students.
Yeah, and I'm reading here that the school is not listed as an asset for his nonprofit. So what is this building? I mean, see, I see pictures of this is supposedly a picture of a classroom, but again, this is, I don't know. The school isn't open. And his reason for that has been that he doesn't have the support of the black community. That if everyone would volunteer their time, it would have been open to, this is what I heard him saying. So is it a grift or is he genuine? I have no idea, because I try not to pay attention to people like this for very long. Like I'm not one of, like I don't dive into like what celebrities are up to, who they married to, who they fucking and all that. It's like I don't think that's interesting. It's not interesting to me. So I don't keep up with Dr. Umar, but every now and then when I look into it, the school ain't open. And when I saw the latest interview I saw him doing, which I believe was on the Breakfast Club, the reason he gave was that the black community doesn't support him. But I think he raised like $500,000 from the black community for the school,
which is not enough money for a school, to be honest. But
no, not really. But I have no idea, because here's the other thing: it's rich people in the black, like LeBron James has a school, and I don't know how much that cost him, but I mean I think Dr. Umar has been taking donations for the school for like 10 years.
Okay.
So I want it to be true, but it don't seem true.
What is his background that, like, why would somebody trust that he is the appropriate person to run a school? Does he have training or experience as a school administrator or a teacher, or?
Well, he's the Prince of Pan-Africanism.
Okay.
He has a doctorate in psychology.
Okay.
And I think that's about it. I don't know if, but what would qualify you to be able to run a school? And I think he has been a teacher, honestly, but I don't know.
I mean, I'd want to see experience. This is a non-exhaustive list, but if somebody had experience as in school administration, budgeting, operations, et cetera, accreditation, that kind of stuff, that's what you'd want to see. You want to see experience with the school board and stuff like that.
These people, okay, so this lady says most of Umar's supporters, and she wrote this in February. Most of Umar's supporters have no idea how nonprofits or schools work. Umar tells a lot of lies, but his supporters just accept it. The lie about him being sabotaged by a white closing attorney to explain why he owes taxes after buying a school, that makes no sense because the closing attorney has nothing to do with confirming or keeping up with his nonprofit approval. Umar didn't report his donations on a 990 to the IRS for 3 years, so they revoked his nonprofit approval. When people called him out about not reporting his 990s every year, he then said he didn't report because he didn't know his 501c3 was approved and blamed the IRS for not telling him. These two stories don't even work together. It's mind-boggling how people can't hear this and realize this man is a horrible liar and a scammer. To clarify, Umar's original nonprofit was a 501c3 approved before COVID. He refused to report donations, so they revoked it. Instead of providing them the info needed to reactivate, he applied for a new EIN and got a 501c3 approval under that. That is probably the EIN that shows after COVID. He claims he only earned $700K, but many believe he took in closer to $2 million. The $700K only accounts for the GoFundMe total. It does not include Cash App, PayPal, and cash or checks he received in the last 6 years. He didn't activate the first nonprofit because he didn't want to report the real amount received.
I mean, because this is just some lady on Reddit saying this, right? So, or on social media saying this. So I wouldn't say that necessarily proves that he's lying, but if the case...
Oh, this isn't even Reddit. This is Lipstick Alley.
Yeah, okay. Well, yeah, so she could just be talking out of her ass. But I guess what I'm getting at is like if he didn't have his shit together enough to know when his 501c3 was approved, then what evidence do you have that he's going to be capable of running a school? Like there's paperwork involved with running a school properly. So like if you can't keep on top of your taxes, it doesn't seem like you're the right person to be running the school. But that's just me.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I don't know. I mean, this feels like a grift to me. So, I'm not giving that motherfucker no money. Because I ain't never seen him do none of the stuff he said he was going to do.
Yeah.
I see him giving speeches. I see him making a lot of grand gestures and promises. I'm going to open a school by Marcus Garvey's birthday. I'm going to open a school when Asada Shakur was born. And it just keeps getting kicked down the line, And so, we'll probably get another chronic from Dr. Dre before we get Dr. Umar school.
I'm also just going to point this out. If you go to the website for it, number one, it's a .com instead of a .edu.
.edu, okay.
But also, the only thing that works on here is the donate button. So.
Yeah, so like when is it opening? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Well, apparently it's open right now, Brian, for online tutorials or online tutoring, but there's no link to where that is available. It says, thanks to your donations, online tutoring is now available. Enroll today, but there's no link.
What is the website? Okay, I'm on drumarjohnson.com.
I'm on fdmga.com.
fdmga.com. Okay, but wait a minute. There's no link to the school on... I can buy tickets. I can be a platinum diamond member. Okay, FDMG Leadership Academy. Okay, but there's no link to. Okay, I can buy a lot of stuff, but where is the school? Oh, resumes for the academy. Okay, I see that. Dr. Umar at yahoo.com. Okay, that makes sense. Dr. Umar, not at drumar.com. All right. Okay, I can definitely donate to the academy 3 different ways. Cash App, PayPal, Cash Me. I don't see a way to go straight to. Okay, so I'm just going to go to FD. You say FDMG.com?
FDMGA.com is what I found.
Okay, Frederick Douglass. That's a nice website. Not bad. A little low res. Okay. I mean, this looks legit.
Oh, you think so?
New campus in Atlanta. School supplies.
I don't think it looks legit. But
So they need $400,000 before they open, and they already have $246,000. So maybe I will donate. Maybe I'll send them a little. No. Book tour. So they can't. Okay, so they can't. They need $400,000 to open. Now listen. So that's the thing. It's not unreasonable. Like, that seems reasonable, right? Like, in a vacuum, needing $400,000 before a school can be open doesn't seem crazy.
I think it seems crazy because it's too low.
But maybe that's all they need left. Now, I think what's also crazy is that there's a little girl in this picture on the website, and I thought that the school was only for boys.
Well, this picture is just a random stock photo.
Yeah, so I don't know how to feel about it, and that's the thing. You can't have none of my money if I don't know. Like, that's just how it is. Oh, there's a Swahili lesson. Is it on YouTube? Or is that Vimeo? But actually, well done video.
Did they make it?
Yeah, it looks like they made it.
Okay. All right.
But yeah, it's that's the thing. Is like everything around this. It seems like 80% legit, and then you see little things where you're like, I don't know.
Well, okay. Let's attack this from the other direction. If it was a scam, how would it look any different?
Oh, facts. Yep, that's good. That's a good point. That's a good point. I don't know. I don't know how to feel about it. But I do know that because here's the thing. I'm starting from the place of you have to convince me for me to send you money.
Yes.
I'm not gonna send you money and then hope for the best. So it's like I'm not convinced. So that's all it is.
That is I think that's the appropriate null hypothesis.
Yeah.
To operate from.
Yeah,
You don't get my money unless you prove to me that it's gonna go
it's not
somewhere.
A scam. And the thing is, the fact that it even feels like a scam a little bit is enough for me.
Yeah. But I mean, educate us, Jafari. Educate us. Send us some stuff. Email us.
Yeah, I would love to know. I would love to know if you know something that we don't. Sir,
I would love for this to be legit. And so I would love to see evidence that it's legit.
All right. And that feels like a good stopping point. We've been going for it's 2 p.m. now over here.
Yeah, let's do you know what? Can we do one? Let's do one more quick story, something light, since we got a lot of dark stuff. Let's do young women won't date people who listen to Joe Rogan.
Where's that?
If you do, it's the It's towards the top of the Trello. Young women are more liberal than young men.
This is from Chains Research.
Which I don't know how reliable Change Research is. This popped up on Reddit and looked interesting. There, if you scroll down, there are red flags in a partner, and they polled 1,000 registered voters aged 18 to 34 in the U.S., and then they asked them whether these were red flags.
Capitalism, socialism. I don't see the red flags. Oh.
Scroll down to the bottom. See red flags in a partner. Do you consider each of the following behaviors or traits a green, beige, or red flag in a partner?
One of the green flags is they say Black Lives Matter.
It's also one of the red flags.
Right. This is a...
Well, it's so they say Black Lives Matter. For women, that is a green flag in a partner for 60% of women. It is a red flag for 14% of women.
No, all lives matter is one of the red flags. It's not one of the green flags. I mean, it's not. I mean,
no, they're in both. There's just different percentages for them. So,
okay.
So all lives matter is 21% of women say that's a green flag, and all lives matter 60% of women say it's a red flag.
Okay, how do they even come up with these questions? They are so unbothered they never ask for details. What?
I think that's like Gen Z speak.
Okay. This was like a class project. They identify as a communist, 55%. They listen to Joe Rogan, 55% say it's a red flag. They identify as conservative, 54%. They refuse to see the Barbie movie, 52%. Okay, this is childish. They refuse to see the Barbie movie? That's how you pick your partner? They don't care about politics, 50-50. They own a gun. Only 27% of women see that as a red flag. That's crazy. Because it seems like whatever this group of women is they asked would be really anti-gun. They watch reality dating shows. That's not a red flag. That's a total red flag. They talk about politics frequently. They're into astrology. See, that's a red flag for me.
So for men say into astrology. Where's the astrology one? 41% of men say that that's a red flag for them. If a woman is into astrology.
They read. They read. That's a 95% for women, even though that's crazy because most of the women I meet don't read. They don't read books. And yeah, and 91% of men say that's a green flag. And that's crazy because like I said, most of the people I meet don't read. So I would love to know where they polled these people from.
It's funny because I wonder how much of this stuff is there's a name for it that escapes me. But when you poll people, a lot of times people will respond. Their responses will align with what they think they're supposed to say rather than what they actually think, right? So with men, here it says 91% of men consider a woman who reads, they consider that to be a green flag. But I would bet most men don't care. But they say in the poll that they care. Because that's what you're supposed to say. You're supposed to say that reading is a green flag.
Right.
You have any green flags or red flags, Brian?
It's so crazy to me that they listen to Joe Rogan is even a question.
Well, I think because listening to Joe Rogan has become sort of a cultural identifier at this point.
Oh, wow.
Because it's similar to refuse.
Okay, you listen to Joe Rogan, but do you hear Joe Rogan? Because some people, because I think most of Rogan's listeners listen when he's talking to someone that they are interested in.
That's probably true.
And that can vary wildly from like a fighter to a scientist to a political person. Yeah. The political people are the worst episodes.
100%.
Yeah, I wish he would stop talking to politicians, man. They fucking suck. I like every time I'm around them, you can just feel it. It's like being around a vampire. Okay. So yeah, I would love to know where they took these polls from.
Do you?
Like what?
Yeah, go ahead.
Like where did they find the people that they asked?
Let's see.
And they asked people 18 to 34, 35 to 49, 50 to 64, and 65 plus. Which of the following best describes how you identify politically? So, okay, well, that's no. Well, young women are mostly liberal, and young men are.
Let's see. Poll sample and methodologies. We use the following sources to recruit respondents: targeted advertisements using the Meta advertising platform, which I have heard, there are ways to do that properly, and SMS text messages. And then they were directed to a survey hosted on SurveyMonkey's website.
My problem with surveys is there's only a certain type of person that takes surveys. Mm-hmm. Who the fuck? When's the last time you took a survey, Rob?
I do not remember the last time I took a survey.
Exactly. Like people like us, I'm getting polled. Like people like me that like I get irritated by that kind of shit. I don't even do that shit on like you know how you spend all day talking to a customer service person and then at the end of the call they go, "Would you please stay on the line for us?" Fuck no. Why would I do that? You could I could have took the survey while I was on hold. You know, but now I'm ready to go. Yeah, so this is interesting. I mean, it doesn't mean anything.
No, it's just food for thought.
Yeah.
Do you have any green flags or red flags?
Yeah, the astrology thing is a big one.
It's a red flag for you.
It's a gray flag,
okay.
A beige flag they would call it. Even though I don't know why beige is. Yeah, because it means that you're willing to be like you're willing to make. It depends on how deeply into it you are. Like,
right.
Because it means that you're willing to make life-altering decisions based on the stars. And that's crazy to me. You know?
Yeah. It depends on if somebody's into astrology where it's like, they're like, well, I am a Gemini. And you're like, yeah, whatever. I don't give a shit about that. But if they're like, no, I can't sign this lease because this apartment building was built on this day and Mercury was in retrograde that time or whatever.
Right. Yeah. Some people are fucking nuts. And then some people are real good at pretending like they're not really that into it and they really live their whole lives by it.
That's true.
But then another one is like not being willing to like take responsibility. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's a big one. My mom is my best friend. That's a board mission right there to me.
Really?
Oh yeah, or being obsessed with your ex.
That makes sense. That's a huge red flag.
I ain't with that. Yeah. That's a big red flag. Yeah. But that's about it. I ain't too picky like that. Hygiene, that's a big one. You know what I mean?
Politics?
I'm just saying like if your pussy smell bad on back-to-back outings, that's a wrap for me. Yeah. And I think that's it really. You know, I'm not, because red flag meaning deal breaker. You know what? I would have to really think about this to like make a list. But you know it when you feel it. You know it when you're around and you're like, I'm not gonna be able to deal with this. You know what I'm saying? And I don't even want to talk about it.
Swastika tattoo. You're like, I don't think I can.
Because see, that's the thing to me, is there's red flags, but there's like, there's flags that aren't quite like, I guess that's what the beige is. It's just like, it's things that like we can talk about this and maybe we can get past it or compromise. But there's things where it's like, we don't even need to talk about it. There's no compromise. You know what I mean? Like, like you got you got a swastika on your butt cheek. You know what I mean? Like it's a wrap. You know what I mean? Like that kind of thing. Or it's like you QAnon. You know what I mean? I'm out. Yeah, you a flat earther. I'm out. You dumb. I can't deal anything like that. Where it's like you're your life has succumbed to being illogical, like that's your whole identity, I can't fuck with you. Yeah. What about yourself?
Well, I mean, I've been out of the dating game for a long time, but when I moved to California, I had to soften the brightness on some of them red flags because I used to be really anti like astrology and stuff like that, and there's a lot of woo-woo stuff out in LA. So like, if woo-woo is a red flag for you, you're just not gonna date in LA.
Facts, but it's not
So
just LA. Let me tell you.
I had to soften my stance on that, but my wife's not woo-woo at all, so there is hope out there. But I don't know, if somebody's really religious, I can't fuck with that.
Yeah, you can be woo woo all you want, as long as it don't fuck with my peace or cost me money.
Yeah.
Yeah, woo woo all day.
All right, let's call it there. Let's do these.
Yeah, don't forget, any questions, comments, concerns, email us at BSwithBrianSimpson at gmail.com. Hey, listen, by the time this comes out, I'm going to be at Skankfest this weekend. I'm going to be at Zany's in Chicago and Zany's Rosemont next weekend, the 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th. Go to my link tree, go to BrianSimpsonComedy.com to get tickets to that. I'm going to be in Sly Splitters in Tampa, Florida, the weekend after that on October 12th, 13th, and 14th. Come fuck with your boy. Oh, and you know what? Might as well say I'm going to be at Rumors Comedy Club in, I think that's in what, Winnipeg, nigga? Yeah, Winnipeg. Canada. At the end of the month. So, actually, no, that's November 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. So, yeah, get all those tickets right now. Oh, wait a minute, hold up. And Addison Improv, I think that's right outside of Dallas, on the 10th, 11th, and 12th of November. So get them tickets right now. They're on sale. Go click those links. And we'll see y'all next time.